Racing to the 2020 Breeders' Cup, and this time let's take a look at some Breeders' Cup long shots who may have a chance to hit the board and light up some of the exotics on next weekend. And first off, I want to clarify, when I talk about a long shot, I'm talking about a horse that is over 10-to-1 odds, and he can legitimately have a chance to run first or second in the race to possibly complete an exacta, or, you know, these are the type of horses that I'm going to use as A horses in my vertical bets, and I'm going to use them in my multi-race bets as chances to kind of blow up the tote board. So a long shot for me is a horse that I think can win the race and has a chance to really blow up that tote board. And a lot of times when I'm going to look for long shots, especially on these big days, sometimes people look for the wide open races where the long shots can happen, and I tend to gravitate towards races where you have a big favorite. And what happens is people focus in on that favorite, and sometimes horses that normally aren't that long, their odds tend to drift just because some of the money is flowing so heavily on the big favorite. So with that in mind, I'm going to take a look at these 5 horses. One of them is Rombauer. Now, Rombauer comes off a runner-up effort in the American Pharoah Stakes at Santa Anita. What I like about him is this horse looks like a pure grinder. He looks like he is going to get the distance, and in that last race, he made a menacing move going into the turn. Looked like he may cut into that lead by the winner, get her number. But this is the type of race where you've got the huge favorite in Jackie's Warrior, but he's never gone 2 turns. And he's ran some big speed figures, so he may be due for a regression. And people are going to gravitate towards some of the second and third favorites like Get Her Number and some of these other horses. And if a horse like Jackie's Warrior is going to lose, it's probably going to be to a horse that can get the distance. So I want to take a shot with a horse like Rombauer. Second horse I want to take a look at is Dunbar Road. Now, this horse came off a long layoff the last time out and ran into a weird race shape. It was one of the few races in Grade 1 races this year we've had a fast pace, and Latruska went 109.3, and Dunbar Road just wasn't ready to run that type of race off the bench. And then when she made her move, she cut into that deficit. She made her move a little bit too soon, and what happened was the winner of that race just got a better trip, and then at the end, Point of Honor nailed Dunbar Road late for second. So Dunbar Road kind of got some dirtied up form. They're not going to go 109.3 here, and if they do, they won't be able to win the race. So you got Monomoy Girl taking all the money and all the action, and people are going to kind of not really handicap this race, and I think Dunbar Road is sitting on a big effort. By my standards is a little bit of a reach, but why I like him in the Classic, again, I think people are going to gravitate towards the Bob Baffert horses. I have no idea how those horses are going to run with all the allegations coming up. Meanwhile, you've got a horse like Tiz the Law facing older horses, and then you've got a horse like Authentic trying to duplicate his big efforts from the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness, but he's got a running style that kind of fits for only a front runner, and he may get a little bit more pressure from Maximum Security in this race. So by my standards, and the reason why he's a little bit of a reach is because I think he's the type of horse that probably needs to be more forwardly placed. I like his recent longer workouts. I like his workouts going towards speed. But this is a type of horse that's never really ran a bad race. And I just think his odds are going to really float up on the tote board to 20-to-1 type action. And I think this is the type of horse that could get a good trip. And he seems to be in form. I have less question marks about him overall. Now, is he as fast as some of the other horses? No. But I think I've got overall less questions. He's an older horse. His speed figures fit in the mix. He ran second in the Whitney to a horse that got the jump in Improbable. He won the Ali Sheba in his most recent race, so he's got okay form. He won a race at Oaklawn Park against some good horses and the Fairgrounds, and he ran a key Derby prep last year. So by my standards, one of those long shots. War of Will is another one, dirt mile. This one, again, I think people forget how good of a dirt horse he is. He's always trained well on the dirt. He won the Preakness coming a little bit off the pace. His Kentucky Derby, he was interfered with by Maximum Security. So I think a mile fits him right in the eyes, and his fast fractions in the race out west on the turf says that he can handle a faster pace, and I think he just may have a little more class in some of these horses. And then rounding out the top 5 is Whitmore. This is, again, just the type, I have less questions about Whitmore. He's going to run his race. Is he fast enough? We'll see. Could there be a speed duel? Possibly. Are some of these lightly raced horses going to be on over their head, like Yapan and maybe Nashville? Definitely. So I want a horse that's fought the wars. He's grinded out some victories. He seems to run well no matter where the track is. So I'm going to go with a horse like Whitmore. He can just blow it up, and he can come up from off the pace. He can run on an off track, and 6 furlongs fits him in the eye. So those are 5 horses that I think can maybe run first or second at a price on the Breeders' Cup. Remember, hit subscribe, ring that bell for notifications as we lead you up to the 2020 Breeders' Cup.